Chad, what are you doing today? Don't come in. Disclaimer, I've never done this before. Too loud? How about that? How about that? Is that better? Oh yeah, that was a little bit too loud, wasn't it? There we go. Okay. I apologize for the wait, but to be honest with you, I couldn't come up with a concept on what exactly I wanted to do for ASMR. You... What do you mean you, huh? Poor kid. What are you talking about? I did nothing. I am an innocent man, who's just gonna read. You know what you did? I don't know what you're talking about. Moon. Moon. Hold on. Moon. Merry Christmas, Orchid. Merry Christmas, everybody. Okay. Test, 1, 2. Low. Alright. What was I saying before? Okay. I couldn't come up with a concept of what I wanted to do, so I thought, why not just read softly to you guys some creepypastas? Maybe I could have come up with the fan fiction myself, but honestly, I'm not good at writing stuff. Wait, what happened? Merry Christmas to you too, Orchid. So, chat. Sit back, relax. Let me read to you. So, this one is called Mario. Mario is a Super Mario World ROM hack creepypasta by... Oh wait, no, that's the description. Lamau. So... Hold on, I think that's better. So, it all happened tonight of all nights. I was bored, obviously contemplating what I thought I could do to waste time as I chatted with people in Super Mario World community. We had good times and shared a few laughs together. Out of boredom, I decided to patrol the hacks waiting to be moderated section. Seems that we had quite a bit, 33 if I recall correctly. The first few hacks I saw when I sorted them by date were a couple of really horrible ones with bad screenshots to boot. I naturally showed these hacks to the Centralites currently on Super Mario World community. We were laughing at how bad some of them were, but then I got a hack called Mario. Just that, nothing more, nothing less. The description seemed quite odd, as if some Japanese hacker was trying to translate the original plot of Super Mario World, and failing horribly. I showed this to Kieran, and he started laughing at it. It read as follows. As you play the role of Super Mario's plumber, as you play as the role of Super Mario Plumber, verify that you are beautiful Princess Sutasuit. Again, Bowser kidnapped the evil king. It is your job to save her. This hack includes 6 levels of very long. Okay, I gotta tell you, I was a bit confused because I couldn't tell what I was reading in this sentence right here. But apparently it's the translation of what they saw on the description of the ROM hack. Lamau. Is the volume good, guys? Can you hear me okay? Can you hear the rain decently? If the rain is too loud, just let me know and I'll reduce the volume for that, okay? Actually, where's my stuff? There it is. Okay, let's keep going. I simply dismissed this as someone trying to act Japanese and release a crappy hack with some edits. That's what I thought it was at first. Curiosity got the best of me. I decided to download the hack. I didn't know what I was in for since the single screenshot of it was just the title screen with nothing but the letters Mario. from Super Mario World's title screen. I thought it was a little odd how there were no dates or anything either, as hackers usually place their names and dates in the titles to mark when the project was started. So, when I opened the hack, I was greeted by two files, one called 3007014, a sample text file that was 27 KB in size, and the IPS file, simply named. Wait, hold on. Simply named Mario. For some odd reason, I wanted to see what the author of the hack had to say. But when I opened the hack in Notepad, there was nothing but indistinguishable symbols and letters and punctuation. Sort of like how when you open a ROM in a text editor like Notepad. Seems like the author just completely copied his ROM to text form, though I could be wrong. Taking a closer look at the top of the text file, mixed in with the gibberish, I found the only thing that looked like English there. Here is a piece of what I found. Did I miss the part with the hyper-realistic blood? Hyper-realistic blood? We haven't gotten to that part just yet. Yeah, it's a pretty room. I actually got this from Etsy while I was browsing through some backgrounds for comfy reading like this. So, yeah. Okay, so it says, find me. Find me. Find me. Find me. Find me. Okay, so who did the hack? What did this ROM hack kidnap? Who got kidnapped? We haven't gotten to the blood yet part, Grim. That might be soon. To be honest, I didn't know what to make of this. I eventually decided it was simply to waste some of my time by making me find some text in the gibberish file. That, I'm willing to bet, no one will ever be able to make sense of. I decided that because my interest was growing steadily, I would start looking through my horribly disorganized download folder for a copy of a clean ROM, which I had downloaded a great deal of time before the events of tonight unfolded. An IPS patcher. Of course, my choice for the job was Lunar IPS. So, then I proceeded to move the ROM and the IPS patcher to the folder with the hack. I patched the ROM, not knowing what to expect next, and I quickly hurried to drag it to the ZSNES and play what I thought was to be terrible in the form of a ROM image. I decided on boot up that the author had taken the time to change the header of his hack. Instead of the usual Super Mario World you normally see when booting up a ROM in ZSNES, just had the letters Mario there again. At this point, I gained a little hope, because normally people who do horrible half-ass edits to the ROM generally don't know enough to change a header title. I thought I wasn't wasting my time with this, and my mood brightened slightly at the thought of seeing what the author had to offer in this interesting little hack. Him. Just him. Just randomly him. The title screen loaded, exactly like it would with Super Mario World. Hold on, let me move this thing. Except it has just Mario on the title, like I had mentioned earlier. Something else that grabbed my interest, more so than the usual absence of a layer 3 tiles on the title screen. Mario's normal bright color and happy palette seemed, how do I put it, dull. What was once a violet-like red now seemed like a gray with a slight red tint to it, and I'm fairly sure his pants were looking more gray than blue too. Maybe he just forgot to do laundry, that's all. I thought this was strange, and I wondered why he had decided to give Mario such a dull palette. He looks okay, honestly. I don't know what you're on about, my guy. Maybe he just forgot to do his laundry, it's all good. Regardless, As to what his intentions were, I felt that something was wrong. Of course you would. Not in the same, not in the sense that the palette was slightly bad, but that the hack was empty, like something had happened. Upon pressing start and selecting a new file, like a lot of other countless Mario hacks I have played in the past, there was some sort of intro screen that basically described the entirety of the plot in a short paragraph just small enough to fit into a small black box. I began reading, and for the most part, the message stayed the same, but there was one key factor that made this interesting. Apparently, the main antagonist of this hack wasn't Bowser at all. It was Mario. 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 The message read as follows: Welcome. This is Dinosaur Land. In this strange land, we find that Princess Toadstool is missing again. Looks like Mario is at it again. Oh no. Mario's the antagonist. What happened? I can already say where this is going. So apparently there was some kidnapping, wasn't there? There was somebody named Mario, and there was somebody IRL that got kidnapped. And they're using this ROM hack to retell the events of that kidnapping. What the? This wasn't the original message from Super Mario World, I thought to myself. Normally, I wouldn't think anything of this scene as how, over my nearly 2 years at Super Mario World Central, I have played countless hacks and have seen many different intro messages, but this one really stuck out. At this point, I definitely knew there was something odd about this hack. Upon letting the intro level music play, I pressed the button on my controller to finally get to the overworld and begin my journey into this unknown hack. Upon entering the overworld, everything seemed normal. Same old level paths, same old music, but the level names were different. Instead of Yoshi's house, like it always has been every time I've played Super Mario World, it was now simply just Yoshi's. The house part was gone. I thought this was strange and began to lose hope in the hack because it seemed like barely anything had changed at all from the original. I was hoping to see something new. Well, unluckily for me, I got my wish, as you'll see when you read on. Yeah, that's pretty much like the typical first world of Mario, yeah. Yoshi's. I decided to enter the level out of curiosity. When I entered, the whole house that's normally there was gone. No more smoke, no more fire, no more little birdies, no more treehouse. All that was left was the message box. I decided to hit it. Upon opening, the message I expected to be there was replaced with what seemed like binary code. Ooh, location, huh? 0110111001101111101. I'm not reading all that. Apparently, it says notepad. Oh, the binary code. At this point, I was on IRC telling everyone about how the hack was starting to weird me out, which yielded more sarcastic responses, but hey, I expected it. Anyways, after this, my interest level in the hack skyrocketed, and along with it, my paranoia. Oh boy. Was I in for a fun surprise? A bit of a typo there. Was I in for a fun surprise? So, I decided to head left. On reaching what was before known as Yoshi's Island 1, the level was labeled Never Come Back. Never come back, chat. Don't come back. I'm playing. Now that I thought things were going to be all Kaizo Death Trap, because generally that is what people name their levels in Kaizo hacks to make sure the player doesn't go there. To my surprise, it wasn't quite the way I thought, though I wish that it had been. Upon entering level 105, I was greeted by the insanely loud clown car sound that Bowser's flying vehicle makes right before Peach falls out. Of course, with my headphones being moderately high, the sound scared the living shit out of me. Of course it would. Which wouldn't have happened if I hadn't been so nervous beforehand. I decided at this time would be best if I turned the volume on my headphones down as to not get any more unpleasant surprises such as that one. When I entered the level, other than, other than the music, everything seemed to be the same, except for the fact that the little Koopa that slides on the ledges wasn't there anymore, nor was the Banzai Bill. The Dragon Coin was still there, however, for some odd reason, I wasn't able to collect it, or rather any Dragon Coins at all. The other made certain of that. I also noticed that there was a brown used block near the spot where the Banzai Bill normally shows up. I can only assume that this was a revisit to the level after I had beaten it like I heard in some half-ass creepy stories in other Mario games. Creepypastas? Is that what you're talking about? Now, I was wondering why things were like this, making me wonder about the intro message. Had Mario done something previously to Dinosaur Land? Was this from Bowser's point of view? Mario was always been a killer. I quickly dismissed the later option because it seemed kind of stupid. So that left me thinking that Mario at one point in time in the author's story did something. But what? What did Mario do? He paid Bowser to kidnap the princess because Mario was tired of her shit. There you go. My mind was nothing but rushing thoughts at this point. However, I quickly dismissed them and ventured further into the level, only to find that basically all the blocks had been hit, all coins collected, save for the dragon coins, those were still there and unobtainable. That there were no enemies and that I could no longer go down pipes. What kind of bullshit am I playing here? I kept thinking to myself. At this point, I felt uncomfortable, but I decided to keep venturing. Oh my god, is it normal that my voice, not my voice, but like my throat starting to like feel weird by talking like this? I should have gotten some more water. What the hell? Hold on. Pause, chat. We have a little bit of water left. I'll get some more in a bit. Okay, let's keep going. Eventually, I came across a message box, which I wasn't surprised was still in the level. Being the idiot I am, I went and hit the box. Upon hitting it, I was greeted with the familiar black box once again. The message was edited, obviously. I had figured that this was given at this point. It reads as follows. It's a side effect of the creepypasta. Oh no! Damn it, I'm getting haunted, chat. I hate you. I hate you. Now I thought things were starting to get the vibe that the author was a twisted and warped individual, and that I was right about Mario having done something. At this point, I was basically rushing to get to the end of the level, so I just scurried by and then came across another message. However, this one was blank with point of advice at the top of nothing else in it. I quickly disregarded it and headed off further to the right, hoping to free myself of all the hell that was once level 105. For a second I thought he was saying that to me. No. That's what it says. That's what it says. Maybe Anakin wrote this probably. I hate you. Anyway, upon reaching the end, I saw a fire flower in the top block where the four-way block intersection used to be. However, it was too high for me to reach by normal means, so I just continued onward like the blind, curious idiot I would do. Finally beat the level, and as usual, the path to the Yellow Switch Palace was unlocked. I decided to head up the path that normally leads there, and I found that when I entered the main overworld, every other landmass and decoration besides the ghosts from the ghost houses and Yoshi's Islands itself were gone. Nothing really changed at the Yellow Switch Palace except for the Switch message. All that changed was that Switch Palace was changed to Mario World. Boring. Anyway, just when I thought I was done with this abomination that calls itself a hack, I found that Yoshi's Island 2 had also been edited. Oh joy. Oh joy, I thought to myself. Sarcasm. Yeah, what the hell? There's nothing else there. Maybe he just forgot to edit in all the remaining stuff, who knows? Hey Goldie, how you doing, bud? It's over. I have the high ground. I have the high ground, Anakin. It's over. Upon reaching Yoshi's Island 2, I found that it had been renamed to Yoshi's House, the original name of level 104. So, I decided to enter and found that the palette of the level had been altered along with the background. They seem to have been changed to the same palette as Yoshi's Island 3. You know, a greenish tint and such, except the background was pushed down some and was now a rotten brown color, and the vegetation on the full FG was no longer present. I decided to explore the level a bit and came across the trail of Koopas that countless players have used as shelter rack free 1-ups with. I ignored them and go see if any more of the level had changed, and eventually came across the question mark that holds Yoshi and decided to free him. Upon doing so, I got this message. Hooray! Thank you for rescuing me. My name is Yoshi. On my way to rescue my friends. Mario trapped me in that egg. Damn, Mario, why are you such a piece of shit? This had me wondering what kind of sick and twisted hack I was playing. I had thoughts of all possible scenarios of Mario attacking Dinosaur Land horribly and causing irreversible damage. The author had me hooked with his sick little game, and like any other idiot, I took the bait and kept coming back for more. Somewhere not far off from the Yoshi question block, I found a message box, in the same place I remembered that it always had been. Though, if I learned anything at all from playing this, it was that whatever was in that message box was not going to be even remotely normal in the slightest. This made me hesitant to hit it, but I ended up doing so anyways. I wanted to find out more. The message I was greeted with was as follows. But, is there anything I can do to change your mind? What the fuck? What the fuck? I thought to myself, what the hell did this even mean? Change my mind? What would I change my mind about anyways? Was this about Mario and whatever he did? And about how people were trying to convince him to stop? Was Yoshi talking to me through message boxes? Or was it about me? About me playing the hack, asking me as if the hack was trying to talk to me through message boxes? Either way, whether it was more for more backstory or what Mario had done, or if it was questioning my decision to keep going, I decided to keep progressing, despite the obvious signs that I should have quit playing the hack a while ago. As I progressed further, I found that I was right. All vegetation was gone, and nothing was left at all, save for a few enemies like chucks and moles and such. Even the pipes were gone. I came across another box. Like all other boxes before me, I decided to hit it. I was greeted with yet another cryptic message. This is the selfish way out. The selfish way out? What the hell? Was he calling me selfish for continuing to play the hack despite the warnings? Had Mario made some kind of selfish decision that had only benefited him? Was Yoshi still trying to talk to me? What the hell was this guy trying to tell me? At this point, I was creeped out to the point that I was shaking slightly. A mix of anticipation, fear, and the fact that my room was terribly cold last night. I closed the message box and once again proceeded further. The area with the moles seemed the same, except for the fact that the block next to the vine block was gone, along with the happy clouds and dragon coin the vine allowed access to. This made me feel gloomy, to say the least. Not so much frightened as I was depressed. It's a feeling I couldn't really explain well. From this point on, it was basically just a big empty stretch of land to the end of the level. I proceeded quickly, wanted to get the fuck out of here, as I felt that I had spent enough time looking around. So me, Yoshi, I still had him at the time, opened up the next path on the overworld. It too had changed. What was once Yoshi's Island 3 now read as Yoshi's Island 7. Memories of Super Bobido were flooding my mind, how the levels would take giant leaps in number order, which made it seem ridiculous, though at this time I didn't quite find it as humorous, due to common sense and obvious reasons to explain either. I entered the level. As I entered, I was welcomed by a solid black background and a blue and gray colored floor. This place seemed frozen, lifeless and barren. There was nothing in the level at all, save for the goal point, just a clear stretch of land with nothing else. I quickly lost interest and finished the level. It seemed like the most empty and creepy level in the game, though as you'll read on, it gets far worse. Yeah, there's almost nothing there. What the hell? The level of... Wait, what? The level beaten. New path opened up. Hi Indigo, welcome in. Yes, I'm doing some story time. Soft spoken ASMR story time with you guys. Yeah, this will be the ASMR stream. I did say I wanted to do some soft spoken ASMR for you guys, so here you go. I feel like this is the best I can do for now, unless I would get a different microphone. But my God, those were expensive, so this is the best that I can do for now. Okay, what was I at? Oh no, I forgot where I was at. With the level beaten, a new path opened up. Yoshi's Island 4 was now just leave now. Leave now. Leave now. I hesitated as to whether I would stop playing, but my interest kept me going further. At this point, Super Mario World Central was nothing but me posting findings and messages from the hack, so that others could experience what I was experiencing. The channel, sadly, was unusually inactive. It seemed like no one really cared or wasn't around. I felt alone. You're good, Indigo. You're good. I proceeded into the level. For the most part, everything seemed the same, save for the fact that there was now no water at all to keep me from falling in pits without using Yoshi as a sacrifice. Okay, let's be real here. We all sacrifice Yoshi at some point, no matter what. But do we feel bad about it? Not really. I'm sorry, Yoshi. It's for a good cause. Okay, the level was also void of all enemies as well. Whenever I got an area that seemed too far for me to jump, I found that I could just walk right across on the air, thus getting rid of the need to use Yoshi as a sacrifice. It's apparent that the hack wanted me to keep him. I could tell that much. I was able to get the pipe that usually leads to the next level. I went in and found that the room was exactly the same. Everything in the right place and nothing edited. Or so I thought. The message box once again broke the mood of that brief moment of relief that I had experienced upon entering the pipe. You get if you caught the at the end. If you collect, you can. At this point, I was questioning whether I should keep going to see how it ended up or quit now while I still had a bit of common sense left. The message box was sort of as indistinguishable, and I couldn't really make sense of it. For a moment, I tried to figure out what it meant, but eventually, I just gave up and beat the level. I figured that box wasn't worth the time anyways. With that level beaten, the path to the first world castle opened, now renamed from number 1 Iggy's Castle to number 1 Go Back. I sure did feel welcome here. The fact that you put in sarcasm right at the end, I don't know why. I think that's funny. never get good. Don't quit, my guy. Get good. Just get good. I decided to completely ignore the level name, as I just wanted to get this over with and be done with it forever. What seemed like a normal castle intro was made especially creepy given the fact that I had to dismount to Yoshi. I felt for the first time that I was actually abandoning him, and I wished I had taken him with me. The inside room of this castle looked strange. There was this darkish, bluish, greenish black lava, lava on the ceiling, and the gold points that looked like pillars. Aside from that, next to each pillar, there was an increasing amount of message boxes the further I got. The room was basically just a big hallway with no enemies or anything of the sort. Yoshi. Thanks, Yoshi. Every message box I pressed gave me either a blank box with Yoshi's signature at the bottom or the message that reads as follows. Note. You think you've caused enough trouble. Another cryptic message. At this point, I wasn't surprised, not in the slightest. Again, the thoughts in my head started circling, wondering what exactly Mario had done. Why he was here. Why everything seemed to hate everything about him, and wanted him gone forever. I was feeling more depressed than scared at this point, to be honest, and I had no idea what to expect next. I proceeded down the long hallway, checking message boxes filled with nothing but the same two messages over and over. It's like they were telling me to stop playing or something. Obviously, I ignored them and kept going. I eventually reached the end of the hallway. There was a door, which I entered. I was welcomed by nothing but a small section of land. The level was also auto-scrolling, so I figured that this must be the end, that the author wanted me to jump in the pit and commit suicide or something, thus ending my journey. I was wrong. The auto-scroll pushed me over the edge, and I was still walking, unfortunately. Suicide. But yet he kept going. The whole level was nothing but a long stretch of invisible land to another small piece of land just big enough for a boss door to fit. The auto-scroll came to a stop, and I prepared for the worst. I gathered my composure, swallowed some of the spit in my mouth, and took a deep breath. I entered. Nothing but a normal Iggy boss. I felt cheated in a way, but I was happy to think it was finally over. I defeated Iggy with 2 jumps effortlessly, which was actually the quickest I'd ever beaten him before. After he fell in the lava, the course clear message popped up as usual. It ended and I was brought to this rescue X scene. Oh, excuse me everybody. Though instead of the usual message, I was shown something disturbing and vastly different, like a profile for the scene of a crime. It was as follows. Oh my god, that's way too small. Can I zoom in? Okay, that's the closest I can zoom in. Victim number 1. Eyeballs were unable to be found. The victim was found lying on her carpet. Causes of death unknown. Hit marks with unidentifiable fingerprints were found all over the corpse. Uh-oh. Mario? Did you commit murder, Mario? What the fuck is wrong with this guy? I said as I read the disturbing message. I mean, it was a hack, but still, who the hell was this victim? Why were her eyeballs gouged out? And just what could have made those unidentifiable fingerprints that were found on her body? Was this Mario's doing? Is this what the author was trying to tell me? And furthermore, was the girl Princess Toadstool? I told you. Mario is the killer, and, well, representing the killer, and Princess Toadstool represents the victim. Ha, I told you. It took me a while to see if I read the message correctly. Then I proceeded upwards, wondering what would happen next. since the main map was completely gone and there was no trace of it anywhere. To my surprise, it still showed the path marked for Donut Plains. The event tiles were still there, making the path to the level on the giant map that was once the main world. It was still called Donut Plains 1. I thought we were finally done once more, but when I entered the level, I could see that, like the previous times, I was once again wrong. On entering, I saw two message posts. They said as follows: "There's no way out. Highway. Fly, you fools." I found it quite strange that both message boxes were contradicting each other. One was telling me that there was no way out of this accursed hell, and that the other was telling me that if I could fly away, I could be free, though I saw no feather or enemies to grab one with. Was this telling me that I could either rise up and go to heaven, or stay in hell forever, wallowing in despair? Did I need a cape to proceed? And what happens after this? Is the whole game like this? I began to create more thoughts in my head, trying to figure out the message boxes out, but to no avail. Gandalf? Exactly. Gandalf. Fly, you fools. I proceeded to walk to the right. I made a jump and found that I was stuck in the area. There was an invisible wall, and I thought I hit a dead end. When I landed, I tried moving right again to see if there was any way to go on. All of a sudden, I heard the pipe sound and watched the pipe animation, except there was no pipe present, so it looked quite odd. I was then taken to the level with a black background. There were stone blocks for ground and a small door. I was immediately given a mushroom to prevent me from entering, so I proceeded further to see if there was anything in the level. I found that the room was nothing but a long stretch of concrete blocks and doors that were too small for me to enter with the mushroom I've had. It's obvious that the author didn't want me going through any of them, or I wouldn't have gotten the mushroom in the first place. As I proceeded, I found myself at a dead end. Since there was nothing left for me to look at, I tried to go right again. It worked. I went through the brick wall. It acted like a pipe, and Mario went through a pipe animation that looked like it was going into the darkness. Oh yeah, see? Oh, whoops. There we go. I was taken to a small room with what seemed like a pit and a wall. I jumped down into the pit seeing as how there was no other option, though I found that the bottom of it was solid. I tried pressing down in a bunch of areas until I came across a pipe. Mario slowly did the pipe and transition forwards off the screen. Expecting another level, I waited, but there was no one. Just a black screen. I was unable to continue, unable to pause or exit the level or move. There was nothing. Nothing at all. This was the video game representation of death. A crash. Mario had died. Mario's dead? After playing, I think I finally understand what was happening. I believe Mario was atoning for his actions, eventually being plummeted into a hell that looked exactly like Yoshi's Island, where he was lost to the grip of death forever. I was finally done playing and quite relieved at that. The nightmare was over, and activity on the IRC seemed to be back up again. I quickly shared my tales with the rest of Super Mario World Central and typed this documentation of it. If you feel daring enough, you too can witness my tale firsthand. Remember guys, it's only a hack. It can't hurt you. Yeah, it totally can't hurt you. Or can it? Aftermath. Oh, what the hell is that thing? The hack, being the first of its kind to hit Super Mario World Central, gained a lot of attention. Even the site's founder and administrator, Kieran, currently Kieran Maynard, immediately recognized the text file that Adam mistook for the SMR ROM image and converted it into text as a JPEG file due to its header. He tried manually converting it back into JPEG, but the result was barely viewable. The only recognizable part was the very top. He then Continued search Google for images with his attempts resolution 327 by 277. But the second result struck him as relevant. You can find Kieran's post here. Wow, this was back in 2010? His original attempt only displays a broken image now. This act's novelty on Super Mario World Central wore off, however, and it was removed from the hack database after being having accepted for being the first of its kind, a creepypasta hack. The text file converted back into JPEG. The Find Me string is included. Oh. Ooh. What is that, a tomato? Is that a cacodemon? Oh, they found the cacodemon. How about that? Wait, is that it? Wait, that's it? Wait, really? That's the part? Okay, I gotta be honest, I thought it was gonna be a lot more than this, but I mean, I thought there was gonna be some build out, I thought something else was gonna appear, but I mean, it was okay. It was okay. So this is the punchline. Is that I'm guessing that's Princess Toadstool, or whoever's representing Princess Toadstool in this scenario. I'm sure it's fine. Squidward's suicide. Oh, I remember a few of these. Been drowned. Oh my god. I wanted to read this one, but it's so long, honestly. This will be for like multiple streams. As a matter of fact, if you guys are down for it, I would read this one. Maybe one stream I'll do one chapter and so forth until we finish it. I'd be down for that. Oh, okay, how long is Ben drowned? Oh, it's super long. Although not that long, to be honest with you. It's shorter than whatchamacallit, than the Godzilla one. Oh, wasn't this the Red Mist one? Yeah, I remember this one. Like, it wasn't really called Squidward's suicide, it was called Red Mist, now that I think about it. Maybe I'll read Ben Drowned some other time. We'll see. Or maybe I'll read it after. We'll see. Actually, I'll let you guys decide. You want Ben Drowned or you want Squidward's suicide? Actually, you know what? I actually never read this one fully. Just want to start by saying that if you want to answer at the end. I like how the first one, I like how the first thing is this. If you're prepared for an answer, you're gonna be disappointed. Okay, well, thanks, guy. Hold on, guys. I want to get some water first, so I'll be right back, okay? Be good. have returned. Be honest with me, Chad. Are you enjoying this? Is this is this something that you guys want me to do every now and then? Mm-mm. I'd be down for more of this if you guys are. Just me reading to you. Ark. Were you looking forward to this, Hark? that that capitalized exclamation mark, yes. I'm flattered actually. That makes me glad actually. Yeah, if you guys are down for it, I'll definitely do more of this stuff where I'll read to you guys softly with some rain playing in the background. Are you guys comfy? Get comfy, Chad. Get some water. Stretch for well, first stretch a little bit. Get up, move around a little bit. Get some water. Get some food. Sit back, relax, and enjoy some creepypasta reading. Okay? Okay. This one might take me a while to hear. Okay, I'll let you guys pick. Do you want to? Do you want me to read Squidward's suicide or bend round? Which one do you guys want? Which one sounds more interesting? Okay, so for context, bend round is a Majora's Mask creepypasta, and Squidward's suicide is about an episode of SpongeBob that apparently aired at one time, but it got taken down because obviously, judging by the title, the squid. Okay. So, Squidward's suicide. What the hell happened to poor Squidward? I just want to start off by saying that if you want an answer at the end, prepare to be disappointed. There isn't one. I was an intern at Nickelodeon Studios for a year in 2005 for my degree in animation. It wasn't paid, of course. Most internships aren't, but it did have a perk beyond education. To adults, it might not seem like a big one, but most kids at the time would go crazy over it. Since I worked directly with the editors and animators, I got to view new episodes days before they aired. I'll get straight to it without giving too many unnecessary details. They had a very recently made the SpongeBob movie. The entire staff was somewhat snapped of creativity, so it took them longer to start up the season. But the delay lasted longer for more upsetting reasons. There was a problem with the series 4 premiere that set everyone and everything back several months. Me and two other interns were in the editing room, along with the lead animators and sound editors. For the final cut of an episode, we received a copy that was supposed to be Fear of a Krabby Patty and gathered around the screen to watch. Now, given the final cut isn't final yet. Now, given that the final cut isn't final yet, animators often put up a mock title card at the beginning. It's sort of an inside joke for us, with phony, oftentimes lewd titles being used, such as How Sex Doesn't How Sex Doesn't Work instead of Rockabye Rockabye Bell, in which SpongeBob and Patrick adopt a sea scallop. Nothing particularly funny, just work-related chuckles. How sex doesn't work. God damn it. So, when we saw the title card, Squidward's Suicide, we didn't think it more than a morbid joke. One of the other interns did a small throat laugh at it. The episode started with a happy-go-lucky music playing as normal. The story began with Squidward practicing his clarinet, hitting a few sour notes like normal. We hear SpongeBob laughing outside. Squidward stops, yelling at him to keep it down, as he has a concert that night and needs to practice. SpongeBob says okay and goes to see Sandy with Patrick. The bubble splash screen come up and we see the ending of Squidward's concert. This is when things begin to seem off. While playing, a few frames repeat themselves. The sound doesn't. It's supposed to be synced with the animation, so yes, that's not common. But when Squidward stopped playing, the sound finishes, as if the skip never happened. There is a light There is a slight murmuring in the crowd before they begin to boo him. Not the normal cartoon booing that's common in the show, mind you. You can very clearly hear malice in it. Squidward's in full frame and looks visibly afraid. The shot goes to the crowd with SpongeBob in center frame. He too is booing, which is very much unlike him. That isn't the oddest thing, though. What's odd is that everyone has hyper-realistic eyes. All very detailed, clearly not shots of real people's eyes, but something a bit more real than CGI. The pupils were red. Some of us looked at each other, obviously confused, but since we weren't the writers, we didn't question its appeal to children yet. Boo. Boo. The shot goes to Squidward, sitting on the edge of his bed, looking very forlorn. The view out of his porthole window is off a night sky, so it isn't very long after the concert. The unsettling part is that at this point, there's no sound. Literally zero sound. Not even the feedback from the speakers in the room. It's as if the speakers were turned off, though their statuses show them work perfectly. Squidward just sits there in this silence, blinking for about 30 seconds, then starts to sob softly. He put his tentacles over his eyes and cries quietly for a full minute. All the while, a sound in the background is very gradually growing from nothing to barely audible. It sounds like a slight breeze through a forest. The screen slowly begins to zoom in on his face. By slowly, I mean that it's only noticeable if you look at shots 10 seconds apart side by side. His sobbing gets louder and more full of hurt and anger. The screen then twitches a bit as if it twists in on itself for a split second before going back to normal. The wind through the trees sound gets louder and more severe, as if a storm is brewing somewhere. The eerie part is that the sound and Squidward's sobbing sounded real. It was like it wasn't coming from the speakers, but that the speakers themselves were holes that the sound was traveling through from the other side. As good as sound as the studio likes to have, they don't have the equipment to be able to produce audio of that quality. Below the sound of the wind sobbing, excuse me, below the sound of the wind and sobbing, very faintly audible, something sounded like laughing. It came at odd intervals and never lasted more than a second, so you had a hard time pinning it. We watched this episode twice, so pardon me if things sound too specific, but I had time to think about them. After 30 seconds of this, the screen blurred and twitched violently, and something flashed over it, as if a single frame was replaced. The lead animation editor paused and rewinded frame by frame. What we saw was horrible. It was still a photo of a dead child. He couldn't have been more than 6. His face was mangled and bloody, one eye dangling over it, popped. He was naked under his what? His stomach crudely cut open and his entrails played out beside him. He was lying on some pavement that was probably a road. The most upsetting part was that there was a shadow of a photographer, but no crime tape, evidence tags, or markers, and the angle was completely off a shot designed to be evidence. It would seem they were the person responsible for the child's death. We were, of course, mortified, but pressed on, hoping that this was just a sick joke. The screen flipped back to Squidward, still sobbing, louder than before, half of his body in the frame. There was now what had appeared to be blood running down his frame from his eyes. The blood was also done in a hyper-realistic style, looking as if you get it in your fingers if you touch the screen. The wind sounded... Oh my god, I lost myself. The wind sounded now as if it were that of a gale blowing through the forest. There were even snapping sounds, like of the branches, laughing, a deep baritone, lasted for longer intervals and came more frequently. After about 20 seconds, the screen again twisted and showed a single frame photo. The editor was reluctant to go back. We all were, but he knew he had to. He didn't have to, honestly. This time, the photo appeared to be of a little girl, no older than the first child. She was laying on her stomach, but Berades in a pool of blood next to her. Her left eye was damaged in the same way as the boy, and she was naked, except for underpants. Her entrails were piled on top of her above another crude cut along her neck. Again, the body was on the street and the photographer's shadow was visible. Very similar in size and shape to the first. I had to choke back vomit when one entered. The only female in the room ran out. The show resumed. About 5 seconds after this second photos played, Squidward went silent. All sound cut out, like it did when the scene started. He put his tentacles down, and his eyes were now done in hyperrealism like others were at the beginning of the episode. They were bleeding, bloodshot, and pulsating. He just stared at the screen, as if watching the viewer. After 10 seconds, he started sobbing, this time not covering his eyes. The sound was piercing and loud. The most fear-inducing thing of all was that his sobbing was mixed with screams. Ah. Ah. Tears of blood were dripping down his face at a heavy rate. The wind sound came back, and so did the deep voice laughing, this time with a still photo that lasted for a good 5 frames. The animator was able to stop it on the fourth and backed up. This time the photo was of a boy, about the same age, but the scene was different. His entrails were being pulled out from his stomach wound by a large hand. The right eye popped and dangling, blood trickling down it. The animators proceeded. The next frame was different, and we couldn't tell how. We continued to next image. We continued to the next image, and it was the same thing. Then went back to the first and played them quicker, and I lost it. I vomited on the floor, the animation and sound editors gasping at the screen. The 5 frames were not 5 different photos. They were frames from a video. We saw the hands slowly lift up the guts. We saw the kid's eyes focus on it. We even saw 2 frames of the kid beginning to blink. The lead sound editor told us to stop. He had to call in the creator to see this. Mr. Hillenberg arrived within about 15 minutes. He was confused as to why he had been called down, so the editor just continued the episode. Once the next few frames were shown, all screaming and sound again stopped. Squidward was just staring at the viewer, his face taking up full frame for about 3 seconds. The shot quickly panned out. That deep voice said, "Do it. Do it." And we saw a shotgun in Squidward's hands. He immediately puts the gun in his mouth and pulls the trigger. Realistic blood and brain matter splatters the wall behind him and his bed, and he flies back with force. The last 5 seconds of the episode showed his body on the bed, on its side, one eye dangling from what's left of his head above the floor, staring blankly at him. Then the episode ends. Damn, Squidward. You didn't have to do that. Be nice to Squidward, everybody. Mr. Hillenberg was obviously angry at this and demanded to know what the hell was going on. Most people left the room at this point, so there was just a handful of us left to watch it again. Viewing the episode twice only served to imprint the entirety of it in my mind and caused me horrible nightmares. I'm sorry I stayed. The only theory we could think of was that the file had been edited by someone in the chain from the drawing studio to here. The CTO was called in to find out when it's happened. Analysts of the file didn't show. Oh my god. Analysts of the file did show it was mixed with new material. However, the timestamp of the change was a mere 24 seconds before we began viewing it. All the equipment involved was examined for foreign software and hardware, as well as glitches, such as if the timestamp was showing us the wrong time. But everything checked out fine. We didn't know what happened, and to this day, nobody knows. There was an investigation due to the nature of the photos, but nothing came out of it. No child scene was identified and no clues were gathered from the data involved, no physical clues from the photos. I never believed in unexplainable phenomena before, but now that I've had something happen to me and can't prove anything about it beyond anecdotal evidence, I think twice about things. No, Squidward. Wait. Oh, they actually have an episode of it? Whoa. Hold on. Oh my god, that was so loud. That was so loud. I apologize. Jesus. That was so loud. I apologize, everybody. That even jump scared me. What the hell? What other creepypastas are there? Main page. News stories. Let me see the famous ones though. Oh my god, I remember this one. This is the Mortal one. There's a fun one about Pinkie Pie. Okay. Pinkie. Wait, is this the one? Pinkie? Is that the one? Wait, hold on. Pinkie. Oh wait, I think it's this one. Is this the one? Oh, whoops. There we go. I'm assuming this is the one, yeah. Oh my god, I gotta zoom in. This one. Now, disclaimer, I don't know anything. I don't remember the name of it, to be honest. I'm assuming it's this one, probably, right? I would assume so. Now, disclaimer, I don't know anything about My Little Pony. Pinkamena. If life is a party, a blood-written message found in Pinkamena's basement. Wait, no, this is not the creepypasta. Is it? Wait, hold on. Pinkie Pie, creepy pasta. Was it this one? The story cupcakes. Oh, cupcakes. Is that the one? Is that the one? I think it's this one, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm assuming it's this one. I think it's called Cupcakes. Cupcakes? Okay, bet. Cupcakes. Mm-mm-mm. Cupcakes is a dark fan fiction set in the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic universe. It depicts the character Pinkie Pie as a serial killer, though still keeping her in universe bright and cherry. Okay, spoilers. With drugs her. Okay, spoilers. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, so this one's called Cupcakes. Right. What time is it? 10:30. This may be the last one, cause I do want to get some food after this. I want to get some food and then I'll relax. Because I'll be honest with you, talking like this, softly, like this, it kind of, maybe I'm doing it wrong, but it kind of does feel like I'm putting some strain on my throat, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Yeah, this will be the last one. So, origin. The Cupcakes fanfiction is thought to have first appeared on 4chan's Image Board Co. sometime in January 2011, though the date of original post remains unknown. A canonical reference to episode 12 in the fiction suggests that the earliest possible date of post is January 7, 2011. On the Equestria Daily version, the authorship has been attributed to Sergeant Sprinkles. The earliest archived instance of My Little Pony fanfiction is Junior Speedsters Forever. Speedsters, posted via Equestria Daily on January 24, 2011. Though many stories on Equestria Daily are labeled as grim dark, slang term for a dark and or violent fanfiction, it's the only story with the label grim dark as fuck. Ooh. Wait, this one is labeled as grim dark as fuck? Fuck? Okay. How long is this one? Okay, it seems like a decent length to read, so sit back, relax. Let's get started. Let's get started, shall we? The air is warm. The sun was shining, and every pony in Ponyville was having a glorious day. The town square was bustling and crowded and busy. Ponies filled the streets. All the pony folk seemed to have somewhere specific to be, all except Rainbow Dash. The place was in the sky. She tore freely through the air, speeding one way and the next, buzzing the treetops and racing the wind. The blue Pegasus swooped over a schoolyard, much to the delight of the children, then climbed several hundred feet above. Streaking downward as fast as she could, seconds before hitting the ground, her wings flew open and she pulled back onto the clear blue. Rainbow felt alive. Suddenly, Dash remembered that she had somewhere to be. She was supposed to meet with Pinkie Pie in 5 minutes. Dash had gotten so caught up in her exercise that she'd nearly forgotten that Pinkie had asked to meet her at Sugar Cube Corner at 3. Pinkie hadn't said why or why they'd be doing, but Dash knew that with Pinkie it could be anything. Dash wasn't sure if she really wanted to go though. She was so engaged with her stunts that she thought about blowing Pinkie off to continue flying. Hey, blowing Pinkie. But Dash's conscience got the better of her. She knew that it would hurt Pinkie's feelings. After all, Pinkie had said it was going to be something special just for the two of them. Dash considered it and thought, why not? What did she have to lose? Heck, it might be more pranking. Pinkie might have found a bunch more stuff to pull on folks, and they'd had so much fun the last time. Dash kicked into overdrive to make up for lost time and sped to her appointment. She's gonna get killed, isn't she? When Dash walked into the store, she immediately greeted by her host, who was bouncing in excitement. Hey, you're here. I've been waiting all day, said the jumping pony. Sorry if I'm a little late, Pinkie. I was doing my afternoon exercises and lost track of time. Dash apologized. Why not? Pinky giggled and responded in a gleefully reassuring tone. Oh, that's okay. You're here now. What's a few more minutes? I've been so excited thinking about all this fun stuff we're gonna do. I haven't stopped bouncing since I woke up. I mean, I almost forgot to breathe. I've been so happy. Dash gave a slightly uncomfortable laugh. She had always appreciated Pinkie Pie's friendly, outgoing way of life, but Pinkie's overabundant enthusiasm almost creeped her out. Dash maintained a polite expression, however. If Pinkie was this worked up, whatever she had planned must be good. So, you ready to get started, Rainbow Dash? I got everything all ready, the Pinkie Pony said. Dash psyched up. Dash psyched herself up. Oh, you bet, Pinkie. So, what do you got planned? Are we gonna prank somebody? I got a couple of good ones I've been thinking about. Or maybe you got some stunts you think I should try? Or perhaps making cupcakes. Yay, chat, making cupcakes. Making cupcakes, Pinkie happily announced. Baking? Though Dash was disappointed, she didn't think of her night terrors for a second. Pinkie, you know I'm not good at baking. Remember last time? Oh, that's not a problem at all. I only need your help making them. I'll be doing most of the work, Pinkie explained. Dash thought for about a Dash thought for about it for a second. Well, alright. I guess that's okay. What exactly do you need me to do? That's the spirit. Here you go. Pinkie handed Dash a cupcake. Dash was puzzled. I thought I was helping you bake. You will be. I made this one just for you before you got here. So, is this like taste testing or something? Sorta, Pinkie said. Dash shrugged and popped the pastry in her mouth. She chewed a bit and swallowed. Not bad. So, okay. Now what? Now, Pinkie informed her, you take a nap. Oh, don't tell me. Pinkie Pie shrugged. Dash. Oh no. Puzzled. Dash opened her mouth but felt instantly lightheaded. A wave of dizziness washed over her. The wolf spawned, and just as she realized that her nightmares became true, she collapsed to the floor. When Dash regained consciousness, she found herself in the dark room. She tried to shake her head out of but found that a taut leather strap held it firmly in place. She struggled to move, but braces around her chest and limbs glued her to a rack formed from a series of sturdy planks, which spread her legs wide apart. Dash's wings were the only part of her not tied down, and they fluttered frantically while she struggled to escape. As she withered, I probably mispronounced that word. As she writhed, Pinkie jumped suddenly into her line of sight. Pinkie's gonna torture Dash medieval style, or Crusader style probably. Goody, you're awake. Now we can get started. Pinkie stated gleefully. She bounced onto the darkness and quickly reappeared pushing a small cart covered in cloth. Pinkie, what's going on? I can't move, Dash said urgently. She felt the same fear she had in her nightmares. Well, duh. That's because you're tied down. Get it, Pinkie? That's why you can't move. I didn't think you need to be told that. But why? What's happening? I thought you said I was going to help make cupcakes. You are helping. You see, I ran out of the special ingredient, and I need you to get more. Special ingredient? Dash was now breathing heavily and started to panic. She already knew what was happening. What special ingredient? Pinkie giggled and responded, It's you, silly. Dash's eyes widened and her face contorted in fear. Then she started to laugh and said, in a voice bordering on hysteria, "Ooh, you really got me there, Pinkie Pie. I mean, tricking me into thinking I'm gonna get made into a cupcake? I gotta tell you, this is the best prank yet. You win. You're the best," said the Cyan mare in an attempt to suppress her fear. It was all a joke. It was just a coincidence. This had nothing to do with the bad dreams, right? Pinkie only giggled even more. Aw, thanks, Dash. But I haven't done any pranks today, so I can't accept your praise. Dash was struggling again. Pinkie, come on, this isn't funny. Then why were you laughing? Before Dash could answer, Pinkie grabbed the cloth and whipped it off the cart. On the cart was a tray containing various sharp medical tools and knives, carefully organized and wickedly sharp, as well as a large medical bag. Dash was now in full panic mode. She was starting to hyperventilate. Her mind raced as she tried to reason with the pink pony. "You can't do this, Pinkie. I'm your friend. I know you'd never hurt me." "I know you are, and that's why I'm so happy that I got you here. We get to share your last moments together. Just you and me." Pinkie was skipping again. "But the other ponies will wonder where I am. When the clouds pile up, they'll come looking for me, and then you'll get to find out." Dash cried in another attempt to calm her fear. "Oh, Dash," said Pinkie. "Don't worry. There are plenty of Pegasus ponies to take care of a few clouds. And besides, no one will find out. I mean, how long do you think I've been doing this?" And with that ominous statement, the light suddenly came to life and revealed the rest of the room. "Oh no. Oh no." Dash reeled in horror at the image presented to her. She recognized it from her dreams. The room was decorated with the typical but twisted Pinkie Pie flair. Colorful streamers of dried intros fluttered around on the ceiling. Brightly painted skulls of all sizes were attached to the walls, and organs done up in pastels filled with helium were tied up in the backs of chairs. The tables and chairs were made of bones that preserved flesh of past ponies. Dash cringed upon seeing the centerpiece of the table nearest to her. The heads of four foals, their eyes closed as they were sleeping, were wearing party hats made from their own skin. With a thrill of terror, Dash recognized one of them as Apple Bloom's classmate Twist. Dash's eyes darted back and forth and then fell upon a patchwork banner hanging from the rafters. Made from several tan ponies' hides, the words "Life's a Party" were scrawled on it in blood red. Dash's attention was brought back by a party horn unfurling and tickling her nose. She gaped at Pinkie Pie, who was standing right in front of her. The party pony was wearing a dress quilted from dried skin, blazoned with cutie marks. On her back fluttered 6 Pegasus wings, all of different colors, as the earth pony skipped in excitement. Her necklace of severed unicorn horns clacked together loudly. "You like it?" Pinkie asked. "I made it myself." Desperately, Dash pleaded with the smiling pony before her. "Pinkie, please. I'm sorry if I did anything to you. I didn't mean it. Please let me go. I promise I won't tell anybody." "Oh, Dash. You didn't do anything. It's just that your number came up and well, I don't make the rules. Can't turn back now." "Hey, Cass. How's it going, buddy?" "I'm reading." "Hold on. Let me give you a shout out, Cass. How's it going, bud?" "I did. This is the community challenge, Cass. I'm doing my viewers what they asked me for. This is for you guys." But yeah, welcome in, Cass. How you been, bud? Oh, where was I? Uh-oh, I lost myself. Okay, I found it. Dash was tearing up. How could this be happening? Aw, don't be sad, Dash, said Pinky. Look, this will cheer you up. Brought you a friend. Seemingly out of nowhere, Pinky produced a brightly painted blue and yellow skull. It was about pony size, but it had a very defining feature. A beak. Dash gasped in a shock. Is... is that... is... that... Hey Dash, let's hang together. These ponies are lamos. Dweebs, dweebs, dweebs. Pinky mimicked. I got her right before she left town. Remember when I left that party for about 20 minutes? That wasn't enough time to play with her, of course. I had to wait till after the party to do that. But boy, am I glad I did. It was worth it for the flavor alone. Griffins taste like two animals at once. It's amazing. I know she didn't have a number like everyone else in Ponyville. When I was gonna get another chance to try Griffins, I probably should have asked where she came from so I could have gotten more, but I forgot. I'll tell you what though, she was quite the fighter. She lasted a long time, which was a lot of fun for me. I got a chance to play with somebody other than a pony and try new things. It's too bad she had such a meaty mouth. She said so much bad stuff I just had to take her tongue out. You know, bad language makes for bad feelings, Rainbow Dash. Play Dark Souls 2 and the rats and went 25W and 2L in PvP. Hey, hell yeah, buddy. By the way, I gotta tell you, Dark Souls 2 PvP, best PvP. But hell yeah, buddy. I'm glad that you're enjoying Dark Souls 2. See, I told you, Dark Souls 2 is a good game. Dash didn't have anything to say. She sobbed and read it in her tight bonds. Well, said Pinky with an air of a finality. That's enough reminiscing. It's time to begin. Putting down Gilda's skull, the pink pony gripped the scaffold in the cleft of her hoof and walked over to Dash's right flank. As she saw the scaffold, Rainbow Dash had a deja vu. Without any flair, Pinky placed the blade an inch above Dash's cutie mark and began a circular cut around it. Dash shouted in pain and tried desperately to pull away, but the braces held her still. Finishing the incision, Pinky grabbed the curved skinning knife from the tray, screwing up her face in concentration. She worked it under Dash's skin and sliced the hide away from the muscle. Dash ground her teeth as she tearfully watched her flesh peel off. Pinky then moved to the other side and repeated the process on Dash's left flank. Once she had finished, Pinky held up both cutie marks in front of her friend and started waving them like pom-poms. Dash just whimpered. Her thighs burned like nothing she had felt before. Holy shit, this chick is insane. Pinky, what the hell? What do you mean, no it's not? Dark Souls 2 is a good game. It's good. What the hell's going on with Pinkie Pie? Could have at least put some anesthesia. Placing the ragged patches of skin down, Pinky selected a large butcher Pinky selected a large butcher knife and walked behind the blue Pegasus. Hope you don't mind. I think I'm gonna wing it now. Pinky laughed. She grabbed Dash's left wing in her mouth and played with it for a few seconds, janking it back so the sharp pain reignited the fire in Dash's flanks. Then, stretching the wing out, Pinky brought the blade down hard at the base. Instantly, Dash screamed and thrashed her appendage. The movement threw off Pinky's aim. She tried to hit the mark again but missed, and carved a huge slice into Dash's back. Ugh. Brody's always like to make Pinky psycho in fanfic. Did they really? What, is she like the yandere in the ponies? Dash, you gotta stay still or keep missing, scolded Pinky as her friend howled in pain. Dash was in too much pain to worry about her nightmares anymore. Pinky took Ow. There we go. Pinky took another whack and hit her target. She swung again and again. Blood sprayed into the air, but Pinky realized she wasn't getting anywhere. The blade just wasn't going through the bone. I guess I forgot to sharpen it. I'll try something else, stated Pinky matter-of-factly as she tossed the knife over her shoulder, embedding the blade in the table. Through the haze of pain and tears, Dash heard the sound of a metal box opening and closing. I got it. Say, Dash, why did you call it a hacksaw? It doesn't hack. Hacking is what I was doing with the knife. This is a saw. I don't get it. Pinky placed the tool over the mangled flesh of the last attempt. Standing on her hind legs, she worked the saw back and forth with her front hooves. It sliced effortlessly. Oh my god! It sliced effortlessly through the bone and skin. The feeling of the jagged teeth grinding into her made Dash want to vomit. She watched numbly as her wing flew over her head and landed with a fluff on the table. Pinky moved to the next wing and started sawing. Dash didn't struggle this time. She'd given up trying to fight and focused on choking back screams of agony. Abruptly, the sawing paused. Pinky was only halfway done, the wing hanging off by a silver. Hey, Dash. Think fast. Suddenly, Pinky janked the wing as hard as she could. The bone snapped, but the blue pony's skin held, then tore away. The pull ripped away a long strip of flesh all the way down Dash's back to her rump. Oof. Her body seized at the unexpected trauma. As her pelvis tensed up, Dash felt the warmth release between her legs, and her loud, unending melody of pain filled the room. Unable to catch her breath, she blacked out. Holy crap. More like murder chaos god. I guess god of Yandere in the ponies. Dash woke with a gasp. The stench of her urine filled her mucus-caked nostrils, and her vision swam into focus. She saw a very pouty Pinky removing a large adrenaline needle from her chest, stomping her hooves. The frustrated Pinkies lashed out at her helpless victim. Didn't anybody teach you any manners? It's very rude to fall asleep when somebody invites you over to spend time with them. How would you like it if I came over to your house and went to sleep? Oh, I'm sorry, Dash. You're so boring, I think I'll take a nap. You think I like always doing this by myself? I told you how excited I got when I found you were next. I was excited to have a friend be here with me while I worked, but no. You gotta be inconsiderate. You know, I thought you were tough. I thought you could handle anything. I had fools stand up better than you. Do I have to baby you, huh? Is that how you want me to remember you? As a baby? As Pinky stopped to catch her breath, Dash blinked and sobbed softly. Her back was in agony, her sides were on fire, and there was an intense pain in one of her legs. As she blinked again, she saw Pinky pop something red into her mouth and began to chew. Noticing Dash's stare, Pinky quickly gulped the morsel down. What? Pinky asked. Oh, this? She held up another piece. Well, while you were sleeping, I got a little impatient and held myself to a small sample. I got it from your leg. You're not bad. Wanna try some? Without waiting for a response, Pinky shoved a strip of meat into the revolted Pegasus pony's mouth. Dash gagged and immediately spit it out. Pinky frowned and picked up the chunk of flesh. If you didn't want it, you could have said no. She contemplated the discarded snotty morsel, then gulped it down. It's not like you haven't had any cupcakes before. Swallowing, Pinky turned her attention to a small can on the tray. She removed the lid, revealing that it was filled with red-hot coals. Lying on top of the coals were several large nails. As the adrenaline filled her veins, Dash began to panic again. Picking up the can, Pinky walked over to Dash's left. Holding some tongs with her mouth, Pinky carefully picked up a nail and positioned it at the seam between her victim's front leg and hoof. She then grabbed the hammer and took careful aim. Oh, oh. Ouch. No, Pinky. Dash screamed. No, no. As the hammer came down and the nail punctured Dash's skin, the white hot burning was too much. Dash screamed as she pulled and thrashed at the braces, causing her raw skin to rub and tear. Pinky tried to line up another nail but couldn't find her aim and let out a frustrated grunt. When Pinky brought the hammer back to take a wild swing, Dash burst out crying and begging, "Please stop! Please! Please stop!" Pinky rolled her eyes, putting down the hammer and tongs. She walked back in front of her friend and stared pensively at the broken Pegasus. Gilda didn't even cry this much when she had a live parasite stuffed down her throat. Pinky thought for a minute about what to do next, and then she had a stunning spark of inspiration. Rotating the wheel on the rack, Pinky laid Dash on her back. Then moved to Dash's hind legs, bringing the can with her. Picking up her tools, Pinky drove a searing hot spike of metal directly into the bottom of Dash's hook. As Dash yelled in pain, Pinky moved around and drove the second nail into the other hoof. Next, Pinky went back to her cart and located an enormous battery and controller, which she dragged over to where she was working. She tied copper wires between the terminals and the nails driven into Dash's hoofs. Then gave Dash a wink and flipped the switch. This pony is damn crazy. My God. Pinkie Pie, what the hell's your problem? Electricity rocketed through Dash's body. The blue pony reacted immediately. Her body seized and her muscles snapped taut. Dash's hips thrust skyward. Her eyes rolled back and she let out a deep throat-shredding cry. Pinky giggled and danced in place. She then reached down and turned up the juice. Dash convulsed uncontrollably and her bladder emptied once more. After 5 minutes, Pinky shut off the power. Whips of steam rose from the singed fur around Dash's hooves and the area reeked of cooked flesh and burnt enamel. Pinky rotated Dash upright again and snapped the drooling, delirious pony back to attention. Dash? Dash? Rainbow Dash? Wake up. Dash moaned and managed to give a modicum of weak acknowledgement. Pinky studied her handiwork, then reached into the medicine bag and produced a large syringe. All right, time for the last round. Dash focused blurrily on the needle, which Pinky took as a question as to what it was. This is a little something to take the pain away, Pinky informed Dash as she walked around to her victim's ruined back. Dash flinched as Pinky jabbed the needle into the lower part of the blue pony's spine. Moving in front of her friend again, Pinky leaned down and elaborated. In a few minutes, you won't be able to feel anything below your ribcage. Then you'll be able to stay awake to watch the harvest. Dash started to cry again. Pinky, she choked out. Yeah? I want to go home. Dash sobbed. Yeah, I can see you wanting to do that, replied the party pony. Sometimes I just want to give up, just say, I'm done with this mess, and go to bed. But you know what? You can't shrug off your responsibilities. You gotta pull yourself up and meet the challenges head on. That's the only way you're gonna get ahead in life. Dash hung her head and cried. Right? So positive. Minutes passed as the drug took effect. Eventually, Dash was completely numb from her chest to her flanks. At this point, Pinky approached with a scalpel. glancing at Dash and smiling. Pinky made a long horizontal cut across the Pegasus pony's pelvis, just above her crotch. Moving up Dash's body, Pinky made a similar incision under her ribs. Finally, Pinky made a long vertical cut down Dash's stomach, connecting the first two. Looks like I got my eye on you, Dash, Pinky giggled. With a moist, ooey sound, the flaps of skin opened. The sight of her own organs and the lack of feeling caused Dash's breathing to intensify. Pinky carefully sliced open Dash's abdominal sac and grabbed her large intestines. As she separated the organ from the rest of the digestive tract and pulled it out of the new cavity, Pinky grew jovial. Laughing as she guided her friend, Pinky began to make jokes. Dash, growing weaker from this new source of bloodlust, tried desperately to shut out the macabre comedy act. Look at me, I'm Rarity, Pinky laughed, slinging the intestinal tube around her neck and spraying blood in all directions. Isn't my new scarf so pretty? Reaching back inside, she sliced the smaller intestine off from the valves, squeezing out the excess excrement. Ugh. Pinky filled the slimy organ through her teeth. Wait, Pinky filled the slimy organ through her teeth and dragged it back and forth. Ugh. Then to say you gotta floss every day, Dash. Oh, cake. Pinky. What the hell? Is this pink pony really flossing her teeth with intestines right now? Dash was barely aware of what was going on. The shock was causing her to fade. Disappointed, Pinky dived back into the blue pony's cuts, ramping up her routine. Aww, don't go yet, Dash. Pinky started pulling out the rest of Dash's organs, pausing with each removal. I know I can be a real pancreas. Okay, this damn pony's making me laugh. I know I can be a real pancreas, but you know I'm just kidding with you. You really gotta learn to liver it up. Boy, these jokes are getting flatter. Guess you gotta develop a stomach for them. Okay. Pinky placed the discarded body parts into a bucket, keeping the last one for a bit longer. Ooh, bagpipes, she said, placing the end of Dash's esophagus in her mouth and the stomach in her armpit. She squeezed and a spurt of acid hit her tongue. Ew! Oh hey look, there's your cupcake, Dash. Oh no. Dash didn't hear her tormentor. She had slipped from consciousness minutes ago. Pinky, not yet satisfied, hit Dash with another adrenaline shot. Dash woke up for the last time, her heart pounding. Warm blood flowed out from the wound in her chest in great spurts. It wouldn't be long now. Pinky brought Dash around onto her back again and straddled the blue pony's chest, scalpel at the ready. You know, Dash. You know, Rainbow Dash, I'm disappointed. I thought you would have lasted longer. I really wanted to spend more time with you before we got here. But I guess it's my fault. I should have taken a little slower. Oh well. It was really nice knowing you, Dash. The blade sunk into the blue throat and worked its way up Dash's shin. Coming back down, Pinky's scalpel then circled Dash's neck. The last thing Rainbow Dash felt was her skin being cut away from her skull, and the metal of the blade scratch being her teeth. Then, she was gone. R.I.P. Pinkie Pie stared into the mirror. She had done a really good job, even keeping the eyelids. She winked, and Dash winked back. Pinkie smiled. But still, she was sad that her friend was now gone. Dash had only lasted 15 minutes, not nearly as long as Pinky had wanted. She looked back at the cadaver hanging in the center of the room, the last of her friend's fluids draining into a pan. Yep, No more Rainbow Dash. As she looked, Pinky cooked. Oh, cooked. As she looked, Pinky cocked her head. She began to take notice of the fact that there really wasn't much damage to the corpse. In fact, the pink pony must, I think, an idea exploded in her head. She was good at sewing and she had all the pieces. What she had to do was put them back together. Yeah, she just had to get some stuffing and bingo. She'd have Rainbow Dash back forever. In fact, thought Pinky, that's what she'd do for all her best friends when their numbers came up. She was so excited, she skipped right over the body with her Skinner to get started. The cupcakes could wait. Pinkie Pie had a friend to make. Bro, this pink pony's crazy. Well, she made a stuffing out of all her friends. This pink pony is bananas. Crazy. Not that far out from the show. Wait, really? Like, is she? Well, I mean, she's not really that batshit insane as in the show, but I guess that's part of her character. Insanity, I take it. Personality, anyway. Oh, it's the personality. That was an interesting read, though. I never actually read this one before. You damn pink pony. uh, Unfortunately, that was the last one. Actually, how long was I going for? Almost 2 hours? Yeah, I feel like that's good. My voice is starting to hurt a little bit. Actually, here. Hold on. Let me go back to my usual stuff. There we go. Let me do this. Hello, chat. Now, I gotta say, like I said, I wasn't really expecting to do something like this, but if this is really something that you guys want me to do, I'll definitely do some more of this. Just soft-spoken reading for you guys. I already know that Harik wants some more. Yes? Okay. Okay. Alright, I'll do some more. Maybe we could do this maybe like either once a week, no, maybe once every 2 or maybe once a month type thing where I'll do some soft reading for you guys. Maybe like a once a month type thing, or maybe once every 2 weeks type thing. We'll see. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I'm happy to do this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Honestly, I enjoyed this. And maybe later on I'll try to see if I can get some more, maybe a better microphone to specifically for ASMR. We'll see. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So let me see here. I don't think I'll be able to stream tomorrow since it's Christmas Eve day tomorrow. Yeah, because I have to meet up with a friend tomorrow for lunch, and then we're gonna hang out for a bit, and then like around 4 p.m. I gotta head back home, and that's when I'm gonna be spending with family for Christmas Eve. We're gonna have dinner together, we're gonna spend some time together, and then we're gonna open some gifts. And then on the 25th, I may stream something on the 25th. But yeah, high chance there won't be a stream tomorrow. But there might be something on the 25th. Maybe we'll do some more Doom Christmas. Or Christmas. Christmas Doom for Christmas. On the 25th. And then Friday, I'm gonna see how Gators is feeling. If she's feeling well. And well, it's up to her as well. She needs to let me know. Maybe there might be some Stardew Valley, but if not, then I'll do something else as well. Maybe I'll continue either some more Final Fantasy 16 or maybe Blasphemous or maybe Sekiro. We'll see. And Saturday, Chad. Saturday, big collaboration of Among Us. It's gonna be a lot of people that day. A lot of people during that collaboration. So it's gonna be myself, Vay Marin, Kitsunia, Dex Nocturne, although he's a maybe right now, so we'll see what happens. Banana Boat Art, Indigo Apex, VT, Creek, Bernolis. I think Bernolis is a maybe as well. I have to confirm with him. Professor Fang, Trent Deadwood, Rain Dead Slime, Orchid Meep, and Chatty Eyster. And I think I could probably squeeze in a few more people before the collab, so we'll see. But yeah, big collaboration of Among Us on Saturday. Never played that game before, so I'm definitely excited. It's gonna be a lot of amazing VTubers, lots of cool peeps, friends, and you guys are welcome. And it'll be a pleasure to hang out with you guys as well. We're gonna be sussing each other out. And for Sunday, I'm not sure if there's gonna be a stream. We'll see. And as for next week, it's gonna be flexible streaming schedule. So we'll see. Sussy, Alice. No, no sus. I'm gonna be an angel. See, I'm an angel. All right, guys. I think that's pretty much it for me. But I just want to wish you guys. I just want to say, guys, since won't be able to stream tomorrow, and I'll be saying this again on the 25th, but I want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate. But yeah, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Please be safe out there. Please drink responsibly. Please go spend some time with your family, with your gifts. Have a good time. Be safe out there, okay, guys? Merry Christmas. Oh, 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 oh. You guys are awesome. Merry Christmas, alright? Let me see if there's anybody that I can raid onto. I have a few options, as a matter of fact. Actually, I already have my target. We're gonna go raid onto Orchid. Hey, Orchid, I know you're listening. Raid incoming. I know she might be listening. Have a Merry Christmas too, and good night. You too, Hark. And I do appreciate everybody watching and hanging out with me. Thank you, Hark. Thank you, Cass. Thank you, Indigo, Gators, who was in here earlier, Omega, and Goldie, who showed up, Banana, a bunch of amazing people. Gators, Orchid, Kazuma was here earlier, Mama Shybug was in here earlier. Lots of fun, lots of amazing people. But yeah, whether you're watching live, whether you're lurking or just watching the VOD, I always appreciate you guys. You all guys always bring in the good vibes. I love you guys. Oh, she is listening? Orchid, don't tell Gators. Don't tell her Gators about the... Well, actually, she already knows. She already saw. She already saw the gift of subs. Alright, everybody. You know what? We haven't done this one in a while. Here. So for those that are subscribers, it's gonna be a squishy raid. And for raid message number 2 for the non-subscribers, it's gonna be a napalm raid, so that way everybody can spam a message. Orchid, I'm sending a squishy raid over to you. Alright, guys. Oh, wait. Oops. Okay, let's get this raid started. I want to get some food. I'm hungry. I am hungry. There she is. Alright, everybody. I do appreciate everybody for hanging out with me. You guys are awesome. Get inside the tour bus, everybody. Go, go, go. Let's take this raid over to Orchid, who is playing some Ace Attorney. She's a great VTuber, guys. Go give her a follow. She is amazing, and she's a sweetheart, honestly. So, guys, please take care, be good, and keep on rocking, okay? Take care, guys. See ya.